So this is my first monthly recap, February 2021. So here's my tradings, the PowerPoint presentations. So as you can see here, on the calendars, this this month has been pretty well, really. If I if I look at it like this, because it's a pretty consistent month for me. It's my first month that I was like this consistent. Even though there's small gains, it's showing something. So this month I was focusing on like mostly on morning panics, but need to be more disciplined, and it's hard. Here's my P&L for like the month with my total P&L is 94 for the green days, fitching for the red days, and then together it's pretty much around like $79 this month. And overall, um, the average P&L ratio is 2.1921. So I went like 89 trades over 89 plus 64. So pretty much like 58% of the time. Average funds 2,000. My total volume is 333,000. Mainly, I think that's mainly from my trades on the Thursday before the last week, the Thursday of the last week of trading of February. Largest wins only $11. While my largest loss is 9.52, which is mainly from the SRMX trade and HIPA trades. So here is what's really looking at it, and it's really interesting because as you can see here, most of my gains are from Tuesday and Monday, but they're also the one with the least amounts of trades. Well, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, especially Friday, I had like 115 shares, 115 trades, total trades of the month, and it's the least gains really. So what this is showing me is that once I gotta be very very careful when I'm trading Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, especially Friday. Why? I'm not sure why yet. Still have to figure that out, but could be because like market sell off, not as many bounces in the morning, maybe, or that I have like a lot of FOMO, especially on the Monday and on the Friday, the beginning of the week and the end of the week. So a lot of FOMO. That could be one of the reason why fear of missing out. And it's also because Fridays is when I usually take my Friday and Thursday are where my two of my biggest loss are, and I use those are like a high number of trades to actually recover from and make a small gains, which kind of sucks because if you look at it, as you can see here, on Friday here lost like 680, and Thursday 77. These shoots I basically had to recover from them, but yeah. So here's my biggest losers, in which I bought the top and sold the bottom: SRMX, HIPH, and MJNA. Here's my SRMS trade. It's my biggest loser. It was my biggest gain, really. Why I traded this kind of poorly because of uh because of what happened here and here. My first trade, I bought top, sold bottom, cutting losses quickly because it could. Who said that it's not gonna break 95? Is who says that's not gonna break 9? Right? It could. Hindsight, it did not, but at that moment it could. So I panicked, sell, got out. And another reason is probably because I went too big of a size on my entry. And here, even though the made higher low, I bought top. I chased the bounce here. So I had to cut my losses again because I'm not sure if something like this is gonna happen. It could go lower. So, and what happened? It made it constant higher low. They keep buying top, sell bottom, top, sell bottom, taking unnecessary loss here. And then when I finally noticed that it made a higher low, it's also make it like a nice trend line, right? I bought here, close to the low, and then sell on the way up. I retry here. So this is what happened. My entry was 11.15. I sold 10 10.1. My share was 5,000. So it was a morning panic dip buy. As you can see here, it's already like pretty extended down. If it's gonna bounce, I was expecting it to be a good bounce, and it's not. So cut my losses, chase the bounce. It was which cut my losses quickly because my orders were executed and had to sell lower than the bid. And as I said, my position was way too big. I went 5,000 shares. It's in like the market, 5,000 shares on a penny stocks, on like a 1 cent stock, wouldn't be considered a big position there. But for me, I was just coming off from my um, let's see, how should I say? Yeah, for my position, I wasn't comfortable trading with 5,000 shares. If a 10% loss is under $2, that is something I'm comfortable with. But here, a 10% loss, I wasn't comfortable with losing $5 on there, which was a bad trading mindset. I should enter with slippage in mind, as well as be comfortable with losing. Because I'm not gonna win every trade. Trading is I should take losing into account. Same here. 105 got out at 96 again with 5,000 shares. It was I was in a position I wasn't too comfortable. So in here, similar situation happened again. It was a necessary loss. I drew the line here to show that it was uptrending. And when I finally noticed that it made an uptrend, bought it and sold. Sold. Yeah. And here's my HIPH loss. It was also around that the same time that I was trading too. It was I was affected by the trade too on the loss on HIPH falling knife, catching a falling knife. I bought it here in like 25.9 with 1,000 partial position. I was aiming for 2,000 shares really, but and then one thing for sure, I added to my loser thinking that the bounce finally here. And what happened? If I got faked out and it went lower. When I entered at 259, I I think I was putting myself in a position where I told myself, "Oh shit, I got a bad position. I had to get out." That's how it should be. But it bounced, and I re-entered. I should have cut it right away on the bounce, or not add to my position at all. Because it was if it was able to get past my initial entry, and then break the 2.6 like convincingly, that could be a position to add. but never add under my initial position. That's what I should do. So I got out, and it went lower. It went to 21, came back up 25 as a resistance, and it went lower. Hindsight, it did eventually come back up and go higher, but it already the risk reward wasn't good. NJNA was another one. Bottom, so into the top. Why? Because it wasn't convincing. And this right here was where I got faked out, took a loss. Pretty much, yeah. And this is the loss I'm focusing on. Again, I went full size at that point. My biggest gain here, recognizing that it was a higher low, I enter and basically sold all the way to the top. So again, my position size was way too big. What I could have done is went like maybe a third shares and let it break the 110, in which I could add. If it failed to break, I could just get out for small gains. And then here, the 12 area is another area to watch. It's a good position. It's a good area to add for if it can hold. And I did add, and so on the way up. My position, my initial start was way too big. Not a area where I would be comfortable with. Because if I was wrong, I would be adding to my previous losers, which would be a bigger loss. Bent. It was here on this move. Again, my position is way too big. Chase the bounce. What it should have done? Maybe win a third of the position size. And then add as long as it break the trend. As long as the trend held. And then maybe sell on the first sign of red or when it's started to downtrend. A good position to add is over here. Why? Higher low. Both side, higher low too. So yeah. So again, starting size was way too big. It was after this week where I started to go, the plan was to go like a third of my position size. Traded scare, so right away into the pop. And here's my morning panic to buy. It was doing this after it was this week after the previous week that I went with a third position size. As you can see, previous week it was like $50 per trade. That's the initial cost. But this week I went smaller, like 100 shares a trade. 100 shares, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 100 shares in entry. So that's like $10 a trade, and sell into the move up, and that's what it did. I think this was like one of my best execution. Why? Because I traded according to my plan. Added as in held. So one, my initial entry, right? In 1355. And then it moved higher. I added. My risk was my entry here. When on this ad, my risk here was over down here. But as it moved higher and I add, I was risking the previous entry. It held. And when it held, I added to my position. And added higher when it break out the 14. And it's moved higher. Started to get parabolic. I decided to sell my position. Partial. re-add, but as you can see the wick, I decided to get out and it went lower. So, well, my best execution yet, because it was according to my plan. Same with this one here. Was really small size, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So basically like 20 cents a share. Enter on the bounce with like a small size. Add to my position as a breakout of consolidation. Consolidate again. Attempt to break out consolidation. Add, add, and get out. As long as this option hold. AITX was a similar price action to OZCS on last Friday. I traded poorly on OZCS. OZSC, yeah. So, as I say here, what could be done better was sell when proven that I have to sell, which would have been the breakdown. So, what could have done better is this breakdown right here. Sell into this move. Because it broke the uptrend, right? In others, it broke consolidations instead of breaking out consolidations. If it break out consolidation, we can see a higher move. Maybe I could sell partial here and let it, and then hold onto a partial part of the move, part of my shares, part of my positions, and sell as a breakdown. HIPH. This was the move that I was talking about earlier with HIPH with one of my biggest loss. I added to my loser, which should have never been done. Get out right away when I'm catching a falling knife. Why? Because adding to losers is a bad habit. Could could blow up my account really. Bent is, I think I talked about this earlier. Yeah, basically selling into strength. As I said, my mistake was chase the bounce and didn't read the level too well. We'll need more experience. But and why did I say that? Why? Because I sell right away as I got the move. One of the reason why is, again, my position was way too big. I wasn't comfortable with it. VISM. Again, my position size was way too big. Wasn't comfortable with it. It was a potential like 20% move. So could have went a smaller position. Would have been more patient. HIPH here again, February 5th. My position size again was way too big. Took too many execution here. Way too many execution on the cells. So into strength, but I wasn't comfortable. I was selling according to emotion, which is not good. The 19th. Again, this was when I started to have a new plan of making like starting with like a small initial size and add up as I move higher. And what happened? I sell higher and I added to my position as I move higher. So why did I sell here? Because as you can see, it was starting to get parabolic and I wasn't too secure. I added way too fast. What I could have done is waited for a certain key level to break out and added there. Like right here. The break of 34 is an area to add. Why would 34 be an area to add? Well, because it's an area of resistance with this wick here. And as you can see here, it became support. An area that I could add is a break of 31 or 32, which I did. It was a nice move. SWRM, another one of the morning panic. Small shares. Really happy that I sold into strength. I sucks at catching the bottom, really. Because my order aren't fast enough to actually catch the bottom, or that I wasn't fast enough to read the level 2 when the level 2 turn. Morning panic, level 2 is very nice. So enter, add it on the way up, and sold into strength. Happy that I sold into strength. Here, it was a fast move in judgment. I entered in the 29, sold 31.7. Why did I sold 31.7? Wasn't comfortable with it, so I sold right away because it was moving way too fast and too quick. So decided to sell top. It did eventually go higher. My trade on AABB to the 23rd of 2021. Again, it was a morning panic. And here, I added to a losing position, right? And it went lower. One thing for sure, what I could have done was not add as a move here. Wait for it to actually confirm that the low here in the 36 was support. Or actually wait for the 38 to break. This what I could have done. It went lower. Well, one thing that I did right was I went small size to test the water. If not, I've been really, really emotional, and I wouldn't be able to enter and capture these moves. So here, this move here, I bought it on the move up, right? One thing for sure, I got chopped because I wasn't willing to risk the low. It was a good time to actually risk the low because quick move went red, quick move again. So it was after this sell that I recognized that hey, it's a higher low move. Should have gotten out, and I got in right away. Got in right back in, and enter when it confirmed that 36 broke, and sold to the 40s and the 42s. This move I saw like really really quickly though, because found that 41 failed to break out. It failed to break 42, right? It failed to break 42 with this wick here. It pulled back really quickly, and I saw right away and got out of my position. After recognizing that the consolidation held the 40 and it's breaking out again. So I bought a 42, held in, and thinking that it's gonna break the 46 here, which is basically the open. I bought it, but it made a quick wick to like 46, 67, 47 around there. So I sold right away. It did eventually come back down to like around 42 and held there. Held that breakout and it moved higher to the 50s. But I already stopped trading. AITX here was a nice move. Bought on the turn without any hesitation. Buy higher and higher. Thinking that the consolidation was gonna go well. But no, get out because wasn't too my at this point my position was way too big. I added way too quickly, that's what it is. My third ad. And what happened? I sold, it went lower and then it consolidated. And after recognizing that it has been consolidating for like an hour or two, I re-enter and bought higher and sold into the move up. Again, rebought and sold into the move up. It was later on that I discovered that it still had bigger move. So I took some small gains. I sold into strength. My trade here on AITX. Again, it was a morning panic. That's my reason for entry. And I enter with really small share size, like 100 shares. And as move up, I add to my position and sell all the way to the top. This sell here was different from the others. The others, I was like pretty much selling all my positions. But here I was taking partial sells. Thinking that maybe if I hold, it could go higher. But nope, it went lower. It has a nice consolidation. Reason why I sell my second sell here and my third sell here. My first sell was because it's getting parabolic. It's getting a move higher, and I want locking gains. And it's also because it failed to break 140. Really, really slow. Failed to break 140. And I wasn't comfortable holding a position above the 1380 this year. My order are last in, first out. So whatever I buy last is the first one I will sell. That's my order. So in the 1387, I bought like 100 shares there, but wasn't too comfortable with it. So I sold right away at 1399. Man, it did eventually break out of 1401. That's why I bought it 1401, right? And I resell at 1401. What? I resell at 1401. Why? Again, I wasn't comfortable with it. It was going nowhere. So why would I hold a position like that? And I got out. Thinking that it has a potential to break out higher. I held. And then it broke the 4 chain and it went to lower to the 1390. I put an order at 1390 and I got filled at 4 chain. And this is what happened. It it broke down. So I got out. OZSE. Earlier I said this was very similar to let's see, where was that? Yes, I said that OZSE was very similar to AITX, the price action wise, because AITX was up consolidation, up consolidation, up consolidation, right? It was only after having been chopped around and after analyzing it, they recognized that It was similar to AITX on February 16, 2021. I traded poorly on this one. I was affected by this move here on my trade. Every trades that I should do that I get entry is I need to have a mindset that it's a new trade, it's a new price action. I should not be affected by the previous price action, the previous trade. That's how it should be. But my trading mindset was poor at this point. It wasn't in the trade today. It was a morning panic dip buy. Yes. Started to make a move lower. So the first entry affected my mind. Okay, somebody's knocking the door. So I'm back. Where was I? Yes, OZSC. So my trading mindset was poor. I re- in the middle of the trade, I recognized that it was making higher low consolidation, right? And it was making uptrend. I should have taken the uptrend into account because when it finally made the move that I wanted above 8 chain, I I stopped trading OZSC and went somewhere else. And where did I go? That's AMP. One thing for sure, one thing for sure, I added way too quickly to my position. Should have waited for um I should have waited for it to break out of consolidation if it's gonna consolidate, or if it's gonna hold a support level, and then add it to the position. But I added way too quickly, and which in turn make my position way too big for me to be comfortable with, and cut losses quickly. It eventually went higher to the 18 really. close to the 18 and then come back down. Save myself from this move, but again, miss this move here. And later on, it went higher. I stopped trading it because I went higher. I went somewhere else. And this is where I went, where I was concentrating most of my time on. INKW, a nice morning panic, but the move up wasn't the best. I bought in the 49.99. Had to sell the 5 because just consolidating, didn't like the price action, got out for break even. And later on, it broke the consolidation. I bought the asset 530 and got executed at 515, which was terrible, really. I was jumping the gun because as you can see here on the chart, it has such a terrible spread, big spread. It went and hit 5. If it broke 5, I would have gotten out, but it did not. But wasn't too good. My target was 55 really, and that's where I sell. Again, it wasn't the best. Other patterns that I traded put like pretty much here, a double bottom, right? It was afternoon move in the, let's see, recognize the double bottom as an all day runner after it came down big from the high. Enter, but it didn't go as anticipated and pulled back to cut losses. So basically here, I I added way too fast. It was good that I got out really. Why? Just cutting my losses really. And it went higher. So as you can see here, re-entry, cut losses because I wasn't willing to risk this 2000 breakout, 2 cents breakouts because I added way too fast. And then re-enter again as a break 21 and sold into the 23s with the line, see? And let's say V, I enter because thinking that it still has potentials. It was the second bounce after the big bounce here. Saw that it was making higher low, making a good uptrend. I entered and sold in the top because it's a resistance area. Risk reward wasn't too good. No. S&P was really more of a chase after all. It was already moving up high. I didn't want to miss it, so I enter top, sold bottom, enter top, sold bottom again. And it was this move in the after hour, during the lunch hour when I came back from lunch. Terrible mindset. Shouldn't trade during lunch hour. What happened? I basically took the shares that Jackaroo sold and bought them in the top, so I had to sell bottom because Jackaroo he was um he was buying like in the dips and selling into the pop, like hundred thousands of shares. That's yeah, and his let's see, it was in one of the videos trade recap, or no, it was on the Twist channel with us stock trade where they were explaining their trades, and this is one of the ticker that they bought and sold into. Talking about this price action here. And it was also during that day in which AABB has a nice afternoon panic. I kept trying to find bottom. And with that, I kept cutting my losses. Finally, bottom hit, and I started sizing up, adding to my position, and sell, and resize and sell. It was during this kind of price session where I made money that became a bad habit, and that bad habit transferred into DRNK, the big 90% in the morning, and it dropped all the way to red, and then move up to 20%. Here, it was a big runner yet the previous day. It went higher the next day. And this what happened. I went from the 5 all the way to the 10s. Or half a penny all the way to 1 penny. It was a very nice move. When I saw it, it was already panicking down. A couple of my initial trades here were good. Why? Because they were according to plan. And then it was during this whole move here that I wasn't thinking about the trades as in the trading process. I was thinking about how much can I make on this? I was thinking about the money, which is really, really bad. Because even if I did win, it would be tiny, tiny amounts, which should not have affected my mind. I kept buying top and sold bottom. It was doing after this sell that I told myself I recognize this pattern. I recognize this pattern. Why? Because it has happened in the past before. It was a nice steady climb, right? And with a nice steady climb, a nice uptrend. But when that uptrend breakdown, it's gonna flush hard. And that's what happened. The uptrend broke and it flushed hard. The good thing about this, for me, is that I cut my losses. Because if not, and if I held and kept adding to my losing position, this is an account destroyer. An account destroyer. It was during this trade where I used like over 100,000 position size in total on like a in out in out in out. And it was here that at down here where I added like 10,000 shares at a time. Why? Because it was making like it was making a good movements. Like it was moving one, two, up one, down one, up one, down one, up one, down one. So making like a good stair stepper. Not stair stepper, but a swizzle. Making a good swizzle. It eventually went down, but the thing is, afterward, it moved all the way back up to the 65. After this move here, after this here. But it was at this point that I stopped trading because I have something else to do. It went to the 65 and I missed the whole move because that was the move I was waiting for. And I wasted all my mental efforts on the way down, which is really, really bad. And as I said, it was similar to ABB February 25th. This was um, ABB February 24th, right here. As you can see, straight down and straight down. I need to correct this. February 24th. There. So yeah, it was similar to ABB February 24th, and this is where I got burned mentally. And it was also at that point where I came back from what I was doing that TSMP was flushing, was dumping. And I saw Twitch on it and I check it out. It was a very, very nice afternoon panic. One of the best I've seen. A very nice clean move. When I saw it was down here, I didn't trade it because I only have my phone and I don't trade on the phone. My laptop wasn't with me, so didn't trade it. And it moved higher. Very nice. And when I did trade it, I saw that it was making a curve. And what I was anticipating was that it was gonna move higher, gonna move up. I'm I wasn't expecting that it's gonna reach 98. 92 was the green red area, was the red green area, right? That was my goal. I entered 88. My risk was 86. Again, at this point, my position size was way too big, really. But I was comfortable with it because I have a clear risk area, and my risk was 96. The reward was 4, a 1 to 2 risk reward. It was okay, and I sold at 91 because it failed to go higher, so I sold right away. It eventually hit 92 and then came back down. And down here was a better trade, way better than this one. Even though I made less money, I was more comfortable with it. The plan was clear. There was support in the 80s, right? And it made a higher low. It was close to the closing too, and whoever is shorting it is gonna sell. They don't want to hold it overnight. And what happened? I sold the top and it come back down. My mind was clear, so I was doing what I usually do. Small size, pretty much like a third or a fourth. Added to my position as a move up, risking the low, risking the previous entry, and yeah, and so to the top, which was good. So lesson learned: when I enter a position on a morning panic, always remember that it can still go lower, which means that I have to cut my losses quickly. I have to be very careful because if I catch a falling knife, I won't be able to get out. I will cut myself. I won't be able to get out myself. I won't be able to get out of the trade quickly. So with that, it's best not to enter early. And play it small. That may enter with like a third of my position or a fourth. If there's no bounce, get out. I can always re-enter lower. Sell into strength and don't overstay. It's not worth chasing the bounce when it could actually pull back hard. And again, I need to trade less. But by trading less, more discipline. And be very careful on Thursday and Friday because those are my losing days. Don't hesitate when the pattern come to me. Don't try to find the bottom. Enter if the level turn, I can enter there. But there's always opportunities on the way up. It's better to be late than early, but not too late though. Have to look if I'm late, look for a good opportunity for a good risk reward entry. And don't be affected by the P&L. Look for good execution. Don't chase the bounce. Let it go and look for an opportunity to get in, which could be a better entry, as I said earlier, and wait for the setup to come to me. Don't force a trade just because I'm bored. So plan for future trades. Initial entry with 1/3 of full size. At your full size is able to consolidate and break out, risking the higher low. Sell to parabolic move. Wait for the 5-minute candle to turn green for an entry, risking the low. That's how it should be. Cut losses if it fails to break resistance and can always re-enter on the breakout. Cut losses if level 2 is stuff. A stuff level 2 is like very heavy, like on the ask. remember the price can always go lower. Remember MJNA, SRMX, HIPH, DRNK, sell off. Because I was thinking that DRNK was gonna bounce when it came down from 90% to like 70%. I was thinking that it's gonna have a big bounce. Maybe retest the 80 to 90%. But nope. Entry must be close to the lowest not to trace. Had to modify that one. Get out on the first sign of red if expecting a good bounce. Yeah. Wait for the downtrend to break. Wait for the downtrend to break. And that'll be all. So, yeah.